Live at Cook's Corner, guys. Right up front of the ATT building, and we are right here in public. I protest police, and that's why I record. I invoke all of my constitutional rights. Police have no authority over me till I commit a crime. But that's not how they operate. Oh, look at this guy, he's driving on the curb. Yellow Corvette. That's a pretty sweet ride. That's right. I'm right here in public, guys. Anybody wants to talk to me, got a story, I'll do a live interview right now. I could show just my face and not yours. To keep you safe, right? We all know, and I've been trying to expose the fact of the public corruption that is Brunswick, Maine. No police misconduct is FOIA requestable. It will be edited. They will hide the truth. I do not dismiss them, and I don't care. Right? I didn't start doing this because cops told the truth in my February 2020 arrest, which was kidnapping, torture by road pirates, knowingly. And then they lied and covered it up. That's what I did, right? That's what caused me to become who I am, right? You don't get away with torturing people and then remove the audio from booking to cover up the crimes of 3 Brunswick officers, right? They all enjoyed me crying on the bench in pain from my shoulder surgeries. Right? Well, that's funny. He's crying on the bench. He was all mad because we arrested him. Yeah. I told him right to his face. Told Adam right to his face, I can't drink. I have liver damage. Leave me alone. It's a fucking light bulb that wasn't even out. Right? That's why the criminal record driver over there at Atlantic Coast Towing refused to give me a statement about what was said in his office late at night while I tried to retrieve my vehicle from bailment. Right? Did I commit a crime to have my vehicle stolen? No. They didn't pay for it. I'm the title holder. They were renting it for 3 hours. Right? But they never paid for that. They just reimbursed me with a check some 4 months later after multiple complaints, calls, all spurned on by the George Floyd murder on camera. The journalist who recorded that won the Pulitzer Prize for journalism. Right? She was a nurse, stood there of her own volition, held the camera, and pleaded with them to not murder him in front of America. right? Now they're trying to get him completely out of jail, even after a conviction, right? And we all know that this kind of stuff, the Robert Brooks one, in detention where all the cops beat and murdered him, those guys are going to jail for what, 20-something years, all because someone forgot that their body camera was working. And it was in standby mode. That's why there's no audio, right? Can't imagine what that audio would have been, right? Right? Beaten to death in handcuffs by multiple people. And you don't think that that kind of thing happens? I've got reports from Brunswick, Bath police, right? That was 2022, Shaw's parking lot. Was the guy a jerk? Yeah. Right? Was he drunk? Yep. Did he deserve to get beaten so badly that intake at jail would not admit him and he had to go to the hospital first? That was after he was in cuffs, right? Those people come to me and complain, and you know, it's a judgment call. Everybody's going to tell their story. Everybody's going to tell their story from their perspective and make the cops out to be bad guys. I understand that. I take everything with a grain of salt. Did he get mouthy with the cops? Yeah, I bet he did. He was drunk, right? Got him for stealing on camera in Shaw's, right? Then he goes out and he's trying doors in the parking lot. Was he a POS and a criminal? Yep, I believe so, right? But the whole case got destroyed because the cop got emotional and beat the guy in custody. And there was more than one Bath cop, right? But, you know, the guy's a criminal, right? He deserved that. You know, that's the attitude, isn't it? Right? No, the police are not supposed to lay their frickin' hands on you until you've committed a crime. A real crime with a flesh and blood victim. Right? That's why when I get stopped, right, it's emergency use. It's felony use of emergency lights for no emergency. Right? You don't get my secured Fourth Amendment papers until there's been a crime. Otherwise, it's an unlawful traffic stop for racketeering purposes, for public corruption. Right? And we just saw that Keith Powers does not honor his oath. Right? Zoom court. I gave him all the evidence of the 4 felony crimes Nathan Day committed. Right? 4 felony crimes. Unlawful use of emergency lights when no emergency exists. I committed no crime and did not need to produce my Fourth Amendment secured papers. It's an unreasonable traffic stop 8 minutes after exercising my rights and recording him on Route 123 after he went by 70 miles an hour with lights and siren to pull somebody over to get me out, right? He wanted to get me out there, right? So that he could use his police powers to destroy my rights, commit 4 felonies, demanded secured papers under threat of arrest, did not enter the contract, right? See, that's the implied consent BS at DMV. But I had it on camera that DMV threatened me with arrest without my knowledge, without telling me, without sending me a letter, because I secured my rights when I signed my license. Oh no, you can't do that. We're gonna send men with guns to arrest you. That's what DMV did, right? They're all violating everybody's rights. In the state of Maine, you cannot sign for your license and add all rights reserved. You can't enter that contract like that. Under contract law, a corporation has to accept that. Has to. Okay? That's what Universal Commercial Code is. It's for corporations. DMV is a corporation of the state of Maine. Right? They have no legal authority whatsoever. They are practicing law without a license. Right? Torturing people. Taking their money. Right? We have a Fourth Amendment right to travel. It's a right. We don't need permission. You don't need a driver's license. Oh, but try that. Just try doing that. What happens? Right? The cops will steal your vehicle and arrest you for no crime for exercising your Fourth Amendment right to travel down the road. Right? Unless you're driving for Uber or a commercial truck. That's the way it is. Thanks for watching, guys. Alex King, Tim Ambrose, Cole Hickby. I think I see the detective car or their community service vehicle. Be well aware that that car is camera equipped also, right? And what they'll do is they'll use that one. You know, what was the situation? Somebody was abusing their child at the Lighthouse Laundromat. Woo! That's right. Oh, is this the detective? Nope. Parking enforcement. Oh, yeah. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. That thing is camera equipped too. So far we haven't had any camera Karens screaming. We've just had fans wave just a second ago. Good job, guys. I am Charlie Kirk. Right? It's all about free speech and what you want to say, what you're allowed to say. Right? Talk about what happened in 2023, June 3rd, at the town office. Right? I saw the chief's car parked outside. Right? I went up to ask him, how come? I think it was July 3rd. How come I can't have Officer Nathan Day's dash camera evidence of him assaulting me? Right? This is 30 days old. Right? A rights violation, you'll have 6 months to acquire the information and sue the officer. But as soon as they commit fraud and deny you public records until after that 6 months is up, like they did in my February arrest, right? Couldn't get it for 7 or 8 months later. Huh. See how it is? Public corruption. The town cannot decide what is good for us to know and what isn't, but that's what they do. They have their hired lawyer, Kristen Collins, who reviews all FOIA requests and responses, and gave me the edited bull stuff, no timestamp video, missing the criminal menacing that I witnessed with my own 2 eyes, right? And the victim of it, right? I have her statements and emails. right? She said, I don't want to go to court. She didn't say it didn't happen and nobody pointed a gun at her. That's not what she said. She said, I don't want to go to court because these cops will retaliate against my friend. Huh. Well informed, huh? Right? Anyway, an officer retaliates against you, follows you for recording him, stops you for ridiculous stuff. I just posted the Chuck Bronson videos. He does a wicked good job. He's been doing it for 10 years. Right? Now, we ain't out here playing games. Right? Everything that they've done since encrypting the radio, right? Hiding armed robbery at Walmart for 3 weeks and not telling the public about it. You know, stuff like that. Right? They don't want to know, people to know that there's dangerous crimes occurring in town. Right? I just went through behind Cumberland Farms looking for contraband and needles, and there's trash and wickedness in the woods there. I did not see any discarded needles indicative of dangerous drug use. Anytime anybody knows where those needles are piling up or something, please tell me. I'll go investigate and we'll expose this. Oh, there's another one driving up the curbs. Woohoo! Yes, sir. Give us some. Anyway, for your information, white lines are law. You're not supposed to cross a solid white line. You know, this one's a wicked long line that you're not supposed to cross, and it's a little too far back there. Anyway, haven't seen any law enforcement. Ford Performance. It's got the Bronco. Airboat. I protest police, and that's why I record. I invoke all of my constitutional rights. I have, in writing, charged all defendants in my lawsuits with piracy ashore, USC code 1661, 1665, 1661, 1660, 1654, arming and serving aboard privateers for profit of a corporation. That's the definition of piracy. Right? To plunder someone who has committed no crime. How many of us? How many? Everybody out there. Right? Have any of you ever been stopped for a real crime with a victim? You know, like a hit and run where you ran somebody's leg over. Right? I've never been stopped lawfully by any police ever. Ever. Since I've been driving and forced to have a driver's license. That means you're working for the corporation of the state of Maine. And every single one of us should send them a bill for every hour we're driving. Right? They want to call us drivers and force us into this driving contract. Then they need to start paying every single person out here. Right? You're a driver for the state of Maine. Says so right on your license. Right? Should be a class action lawsuit, and everybody should get on board. Wrong is wrong. Right? Our contract is the U.S. Constitution. It's supposed to be a republic, but it is a corporation of the United States, owned by 12 families who I dare not say the names of for fear I would be eliminated. Right? This is how this place operates. Right? They make money, own the pharmaceutical companies, own the drug companies, the fluoride companies. They own the fluoride waste that they put into our drinking water to dumb us all down and make us useless people. Right? And then the radiation that I'm standing under right now. As of yet, I don't know. Do you think that's a traffic camera or it's just a sensor? I think that's all sensor. But that one could be. Let's zoom in on this one. Possibly. Anyway. I think this camera's on. I know this camera's at Cumberland Farms, but the public isn't allowed access to that. Only the police. So they are in bed with the criminal police. And when late in 23, 7 police cars were in the parking lot over there. One of the Brunswick PD played the Troll song by Camila Cabello to play a Disney song so that I wasn't allowed to go live or record. Right? He violated the First Amendment on purpose and violated copyright laws. All 7 of those police cars recorded him playing a Disney song. Right? Every single one of them is guilty of copyright fraud. Right? This is called use their laws against them. Oh man, he straddled the curb. Anyway. Swing wide. Huh. Ain't seen any law enforcement. Have you guys? Huh. What do you think that means? Right? Guaranteed. If Westridge is on as dispatch, I believe that is his voice this morning. He's probably watching this broadcast right now. You know, I sent you a bunch of messages in 2021 and you blocked me from Messenger on Facebook, and still blocked as far as I know. You know, violating my First Amendment rights. I was confronting the fake video, the fake evidence, right? And that's what they brought me to the station for. The next day, after they blocked me, they called me up, said, come down, you can see the video. Well, why'd they do that? Right? Oh, their narrative is correct, right? Oh no, it's fucking edited. Right? They want to rip the truth out of everything. Right? Honor, integrity? I think not. Right? They need to change that. They need to change what's on their badge, right? It should be lies, cover up, and deceit. Right? Answer my questions. Right? Lieutenant Lynn resigned or retired or whatever they want to call it. Right? Fled the scene after she modified or allowed officers to modify reports after a complaint. Huh? Why'd you need to do that? Right? February arrest, 2020. 5:37, I filed complaint. Lieutenant Lynn came out and took pictures of my truck with no tag lights out. The reason I was stopped and spent 3 hours in custody, right? 20 plus minutes of sobriety tests, tested by 3 different officers. What do you think that meant? Huh, this guy doesn't seem drunk. He just can't walk good. Well, that ain't right. We're taking him to jail anyway. Yep, just an old guy. 60-year-old, handicapped, 55 at the time. Didn't have a placard then because of pride, right? I don't need to do that. I can still walk. It only hurts a lot. Nice truck. He looked pretty pissed off. You know, relax. You're on how many cameras, guys? Oh yeah, look, pawn shop's got multiple. 1, 2, 3. 3 on that side, right? I don't know if that's a ring system or not, but right there, right there, right there. I know I posted at one time that they had a contract with Amazon to be able to view our through anybody's Ring camera without notification. Somebody said that they've changed that and they're not allowed to without permission. I don't believe that. I think they'll access whatever they feel like, right? Who's gonna catch them? Who's monitoring the guy that can do that, right? Do we have any public oversight? Nope. They investigate themselves. Never find anything wrong, right? That's what Brunswick police do, right? Did they even get the paperwork out twice? Nah, I don't think so, right? Well, we're always right. We can't be wrong, right? That's what police reports are. They are completely one-sided, biased. They're never going to write down, oh, well, we felt like he was mad at us, so we're going to leave him in handcuffs for 17 minutes crying on the bench. Oh, your arm's hurt, huh? Huh? You know, oh, you don't want to give me that video with the audio in it? Where I'm crying on the bench in fucking pain? You evil pricks. Evil. Right? You want to torture me and then withhold the evidence, the proof needed, right? I had a lawyer in 2021, right? He's like, you can't win. It's the cops, right? He wasn't wrong. The judges will do anything. They'll destroy anybody's rights. There is no justice in the justice system in Maine, right? I got a 3-page letter to the governor. That was last year when I was preparing my my taillight out ticket case, right? Secretary of State said that she has no power over Brunswick Police. Shayna Bellows there. Sent her a 120-page packet. Video evidence. Instructions. Right? In 2022, Brunswick Police got an award from Governor Janet Mills for upholding citizens' rights. You know? And I sent her a message. I was like, gee, have you heard my name? Have you seen any of my complaints? I bet you haven't. Right? Because they formed the Police Review Committee in Brunswick. John Eldridge, Scott Stewart, and another officer. Don't know who that was. Right? But what did they do? They looked at the evidence and conspired together to suppress everything and told the town clerk never to give me anything. Right? I spent years, 2 years out of the 5 where 0 public records would be provided to me. Denial letters left and right. Does anybody care about that? Oh no, that's a state issue, because the state is the one that deals with FOIA requests, right? But no, it's lying and fraud to withhold that information, right? So the federal courts totally fucking ignore that. That's how they operate. Oh, you gotta deal with that and sue the state. Yeah, well, I got full circle on the state at this point, right? I got them on camera using their administrative law judges to defy the Constitution, right? Keith Powers, full circle. I got the whole pirate crew on camera. I got the officer delivering his racketeering ticket in retaliation for recording police, a constitutionally protected activity which can create no penalty. But that's what I asked him. Do you plan to penalize me by means of fines or anything? Because I don't want to give you my license, right? Because there's no crime here. Yep, the light's out. I'll fix it. What more needs to be said? Nothing. That was to plunder me by the order of a corporation and violate the entire constitutional rights, 1st, 4th, 5th, 14th, 7th, right? And for an officer to retaliate is a felony. How many of those have I got? Wow. That was a close one. Anyway, guys, I'm hanging out at Cook's Corner. Maybe I'll put it back in. I gotta get a drink of my old-fashioned lemonade. Because most people on foot would probably have a drink, but I haven't drank since August of 2019, when I had 2 alcoholic beverages and passed out, heavily intoxicated, like I drank a 24-pack. Felt awful, right? Obvious issues with liver function, right? I started having terrible symptoms that I'm suffering from to date. I have severe eczema on my feet and arms, extremely painful, and that adds to my inability to walk as much as I'd like to. But, you know, most of that can be controlled with diet and exercise. I'm preparing a bunch of stuff. My medical reports, all of that. Including proof of my liver damage. And I'll tell you, there are people out there who have had a lot worse done to them, right, than what they did to me in February, right? Now, hypothetically, right, had they given me a letter saying, yep, we violated your rights, we're sorry, Mr. Cantrell, you know, we paid your tow fee, you know, we've made you whole, you know, I'd been like, yeah, I just wanted to do an interview with Adam Merrill, right? Because he modified his report after my complaint with the help of Lieutenant Lynn, because there's nothing wrong with my truck, right? It was a bullshit, bogus reason to pull me over because it was late at night. Right? The whole stop was unlawful. You did the wrong thing. Right? You lied and said my tag light was up. It wasn't out. That's what Lieutenant Lynn did. Come out in the parking lot and took pictures of my tag lights. Fully working. Covered with dirt. Yep. Nobody put a new bulb in. Bullshit. Right? He lied. I have closed circuit TV cameras at my house. And that was one of my first YouTube videos. Is my truck leaving the yard 2 minutes. 2 minutes before I was stopped for a tag light out. Both tag lights are on. Can be seen. Right? They lied. And then lied some more. And then covered it up. And then tortured me. And then lied some more. Nope. Never gonna forgive them. Never. Come clean, Mr. Policeman. Right? I'm gonna go wherever I feel like it, and I'm gonna start doing this shit. Right? Wanna lie on me? Public corruption? Hide the truth? Right? The people have the power. We, the people. Not the police, not the town, right? They only have, oh, that's kind of close. They only have power over you when you hurt somebody or damage their property. Stealing, you know, the crimes against humanity. That's common law. And that's how our contract works under common law. The driver's license is an adhesion contract, right? And all the driver's licenses are signed electronically now, so there's no such thing as a wet ink signature anymore, right? The contract's null and void. Everybody's license contract is null and void in this state, right? Can't use threats and intimidation to send armed men to arrest you when you've committed no crime, right? Oh, there's Atlantic Coast Towing. Oh, we have 12 complaints of theft, right? Carolyn Atwood, right over here at Cook's Corner. Geez, was that April? April said her toolbox and cash was stolen during bailment, a 12-hour bailment at that, right? Do I think Carolyn Atwood was intoxicated? Yep. Do I think the police did a good job as far as getting her off the street? Yep. They did the right thing. I had many discussions with her, and clearly she didn't understand if she was parked or driving down the road when police pulled her over. And by the position of her vehicle, I'd say it was in motion, and she passed out in a mid-turn at Jersey Mike's over there. And that's when I pulled in later and they were doing sobriety tests. I have no problem with any of that. But the fact that in a 12-hour bailment, stuff went missing in Atlantic Coast, true to their form from 2020, refused to sign any statements or show me any video. Carolyn can come over and do that. She's a victim and having problems right now. Probably difficult for her to come anywhere, right? Anyway, your vehicle is supposed to be protected during bailment. When it is impounded, right? That police officer who decided to do that, right, is renting your car. And if anything happens to it, he's liable, right? Pelkey versus Dan City Auto in New Hampshire is the case law. You look up an Avis or Hertz rental car agreement lawsuit where their vehicle was impounded, and you copy that and put in your information, right? This is simple stuff. You could sue them in small claims court for the entire value of the vehicle that they've taken from you, right? They don't own that. That's theft. It's stealing. The only way they do that is by forcing you to register your vehicle, which is giving it to the state, right? But the catch is you're the title holder, and anytime someone else has possession of it, they are renting your vehicle. Charge what you want. Like $200 a day is not unreasonable for them to have your vehicle. You charge the officer if he's the one who decided that, right? If they towed your vehicle because of a parking issue or some stuff like that, then the town is who you sue, and you'd sue the wrecker service, right? Because they're in possession of your vehicle, right? And it's outside of bailment when it's a ticket or towed for parking. There's no bailment. So that wrecker service is renting your vehicle for $200 a day. Sue appropriately, right? If they keep it and you can't get it back, right? You sue for the entire value of the vehicle they've kept, right? Because they've Title 29'd it, stole your vehicle. You didn't commit a crime, right? Any fine over $20, Fifth Amendment right to jury trial. Violated every single Zoom court. Nope, you get no jury trial for a traffic ticket. Well, if the fine's over $20, that's in our contract, right? The U.S. Constitution. Anything over $20, you get a jury trial, right? 2% get jury trial. 2%. Right? The other 98%, right, are being ripped off. Robbed by pirates. Plunder. Right? It's a corporation taking your money when you've committed no crime. Right? All traffic stops are 3 felonies if there's no victim. Right? I posted it. We've said it. Can't say it in court. You can't present evidence to Zoom court in person over the phone. The judge would be like, nope, can't see it. Right? This is your evidence. How can there be due process if no evidence can be provided to the court beforehand or during a Zoom trial? Right? I've tried both ways. Right? Total fucking defiance of our rights, our Fourth Amendment rights. That's every single person who's ever gone to Zoom court should be able to sue for this. Right? You sue the state for piracy. They are pirates. Right? Because I informed Janet Mills, Angus King, Shayna Bellows, the district attorney in Portland who oversees Brunswick Police. Took a 120-page packet, never sent any result, including pictures, evidence. Nope, can't be done. So, Zoom court is in defiance of your Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment rights. You have a right to jury trial for anything over $20. Is this making any sense? This is pretty simple stuff. See? Right? None of these contracts are legal. If they force you to sign a ticket, that's under duress. That's what Paige Michaud did. Threatened me with arrest for a headlight out ticket. I had a bulb right there, right in my truck in the glove box. Right? Can I get out and take care of the ticket right now? Nope. Can't get out. Can't fix your own vehicle because then I'd have to rip my ticket out. Nope. You're going to enter this racketeering contract under threat by armed people. They're testing the railroad barrier. Ooh, that guy almost didn't go right through it. Whoop, whoop. A little bit of action, huh? Don't you find that suspicious that no law enforcement has gone through this intersection in the entire time I've been here? Don't you find that suspicious? Huh. Right? Anyway, I'm going to do more of these in public places. I'm calling them out. I've had enough lies in 5 years to file, I don't know, 50, 60 lawsuits. Right? But I've been a nice guy. I've gone in front of the town hall each time and told them, if the officers resign, I won't sue the town. Right? Clean up your mess and get rid of the foul officers who find it quite fun to torture people in custody. I will not accept no for an answer. I've given public notice of treason over Keith Powers, right? Committed treason in open court, threatened me with a $500 fine because I didn't pay the ticket before court, right? That's felonious treason, besides everybody involved murdering my straw man. The second he's taken into court, right? He's considered lost at sea and they're plundering his estate. That's what happens to everybody who goes into Zoom court. Right? They are drowned, lost at sea. And they plunder your estate. We're going to take all his shit because he's dead. It's called conversionary fraud. And every single one of them has committed capital murder to steal $152 out of my pocket. Right? I didn't commit a crime. I was exercising my rights. Recorded Nathan Day 8 minutes before that traffic stop where he wrote me that $152 ticket in retaliation for recording police. Your evil is showing. Right? Just recently, we had a new member join who was stopped in his Silverado, written loud muffler and window tint.
77-year-old female fallen, laceration to the head, reported to be bleeding aggressively, floating at a Bravo level.
Oh, that's too bad. Hope she's okay. Right in front of Bull Moose. That's where the construction zone is.
Fire on 121 Moss Lake Road. For fire alarms going off in the home. Unknown cause. Bravo level again. 121 Moss Lake Road. Fire alarm is going off in the home. Unknown cause. Bravo, what time of your page? Total complete.
If anybody wants to come talk to me, go over to the Camden National Bank parking lot. You go over there and honk 2 times and I'll know you're here, and you're welcome to come and we'll do an interview. Some of those are the most revealing interviews. Still haven't been able to contact Cassandra Wag. Beaten in custody, facial bones broken for not scanning 2 items at Walmart. I'd like to hear the police side of that, but they refuse. Oh no, we're not refusing. We want you to do it in writing. But if you bring it in writing, we won't honor it. If you send it electronically, without filling out the paperwork, we won't honor it. Right? The little catch-22s, they like to play those games. Yeah, that worked for a whole year. I was like, screw it, I can't get anything from these guys. Yeah? Is that right? Is that what's supposed to happen? Nope. The town has no right to withhold any of this stuff. And for the town's lawyer to watch a video without a timestamp when I requested an in-picture timestamp in honesty and truthfulness. Nope, here you go, Mr. Cantrell. No timestamp. 2 years later. 2 years later to the day. Oh boy, the statute of limitations is up. Oh, I get you. And that's what they did with Nathan Day's video evidence. Right? From 2023, June 23rd. Right? You understand the timing of this too. A week before that, Mr. Merrill in a white car was at 7-Eleven being harassed for window tint, made to get out and take a picture of him before he's convicted of any crime. Window tint's not a crime. You guys need to get over it. If they have a certificate and you ignore it and write them a ticket like you did Chris Blake, you're evil. Right? Evil, racketeering, POSs. Right? Nope. You should never stop anybody except for a crime. Right? Enough shit happens where you're going to be there anyway. Anybody you stop for a light bulb out, you should help them fix it right then and there. Right? You're going to endanger your own life, your lives of the other people, then you might as well fix the light bulb. Right? If it's about public safety, you'd fix the light bulb. Not give them a ticket for it. That's racketeering. Alright? So today I requested in-person, on-camera interview with Adam Merrill. Alright? I got a whole packet. I got pictures, emails, the whole 9 yards. Right? We didn't hurt you. Yeah, you did. Right? It's assault to even lay your fingers on somebody who doesn't want to be touched. Right? Right? There was no crime there. No victim. Corpus delicti. That's been filed. Why was I in jail in custody for 3 hours? Huh, I didn't commit a crime. That's corpus delicti. You have a right to question and arrest. Did they answer that? Not to my satisfaction, right? How come? How come he was allowed to modify his report 1 hour after my complaint? Gee, that just on the face of that, it sounds like you're being deceitful, changing the story, right? It's one thing you're not supposed to do is change the story in the police report. That's lying, right? You changed the story after a complaint. Fixed it right up so the officer wasn't in any trouble. Oh, his truck smelled like alcohol. No, that's not what his original report said. He said I smelled like alcohol. But blowing all zeros, guess what? That makes him a liar. Right? So you fixed it right up. That's all that was changed. Guarantee it. Right? Will they give me an original report? 4:37 a.m. report? Nope. That's the one I've been requesting for 5 years. Those lights are not flashing in reality, only on the camera. Maybe that's an electric car and it's doing that to save energy, right? Probably the motor pulse. And I've seen some of the new cars, the headlight goes out on the side that's signaling. Anyway, thanks for watching, Mr. Hagen. Right? I'm sorry how the wife treated you when she was a teenager. Said you wanted to marry her and stuff like that in the police car. Must have been pretty embarrassing. That was a lot of fun, I bet. Right? Arrested her for stealing her boyfriend's car. That was exciting. Anyway, years later, I think it was 99, she was arrested again for that when it was noted that there was nothing about it in her arrest record or driving record. So they came to the house and put the handcuffs on her, and then when they looked it up, there was no signature on the ticket, all kinds of issues, and they never sent any further notices, and just, you know, let it go into obscurity and not allow a response. Wow. It's cutting right through. You see that, guys? Huh. Wow, all the police must be over on the Navy base, or out on the highway, or out on Pleasant Street, or on Main Street. Huh.